There she is.
Good afternoon,
Alrighty.
everyone.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. So Craig, we've got a PowerPoint we're going to go through.
Okay, you
that
can
we
share your
created
screen.
for this.
You're co-host, so you can share screens.
Okay, good.
We got an amazing PowerPoint presentation. You all are going to love this.
All righty.
Wow.
Let me move. So had to class it up just a little bit for y'all. This is really a step-by-step guide to servicing. I'm so glad you and Craig went through what you did right before this, because this really flows, doesn't it, Kathleen, from what y'all
Totally
just did.
does. Yes, it does.
I need to turn you up a little bit. Okay. So now what? You've got a listing. Now what?
Right.
You caught the fish. How the heck do you cook and clean it, or clean it and cook it? You know. So what we've done is we want to take you on a little walk with the seller and help them understand what the buyer is seeing through the buyer's eyes. Because you've got to create these expectations up front. And you start with what y'all did with pricing the home and getting the seller prepared for what to expect before the listing goes active. You have to maintain, I think, and Kat, you can jump in at any time, but you got to maintain that consistency after you get the listing about what you've set up front, because the expectations, things are going to change. It may sit on the market, it may not sit on the market, but you've got to stay in constant communication. So,
and before we jump into that, I would like to introduce Deborah Haley, and I'd like Deborah to give a little bit of her background, because she's got an incredible background. I think everyone here needs to hear about it. She's an amazing person. She's a mentor to me. I worked with her. She's a wonderful manager in Sun City Center. And with that being said, Deborah, tell everybody a little bit about your background and what got you here.
Thank you. That was a great introduction already. I've been in real estate 38 years, guys. And I've been in many, many facets of real estate. And I really love what I do with managing the agents. I've been managing for Craig for 14 years, and I've been with Beggins for 18 years. As of the 6th of this month, I'll be with Beggins 18 years. So it's been an incredible journey with Beggins. And I will tell you, I've been through and seen many brokers, know many brokers, but we are so fortunate to have who we have to work with. And have Craig as a broker and have the whole management team that we have, because you don't find this anywhere else, do you, Kat? You don't.
No, you don't. You don't.
You don't find the support or anything. So that is one of the big reasons I'm still here, is because I love the broker, but I love this company. I love what we do for the agents more. And because of that, it really helps us all grow together and do well together. Hence, we are #1 in Florida, in the southeastern United States, and #14 in the US. That says a lot for this brokerage. And I know it sounds like an infomercial, but it's true. There's just so much wonderful support we have that, if you want to make money, this is the place to be. That's why I'm here, and we have the best agents. You guys are rock stars if you're with us. And if you want to be with us, talk to us after this is done. That's my infomercial.
Well, and the one little thing she left out too is Deborah's got a very strong commercial background. So for those of you interested in the commercial side, we have a huge commercial real estate side to our brokerage, not just residential. We have quite a few. There's about 15 different agents that are specialized just in that. And I learned a great deal about commercial from Deborah. So I can tell you firsthand, she knows her stuff on commercial. So this is something.
Commercial's fun, and it's up and coming.
Over
the next, I think, 5 years, we're going to see a big boom in commercial. We're already starting to see it around us in the South Shore area, and I know everywhere the beaches are exploding. Look what Jeff is doing and stuff. So thank you so much for the intro.
Yeah,
you are an attorney. You've been an attorney for years, and I can't believe you jumped into real estate, but I'm so glad you did, because you're bringing all that knowledge with you, and it helps us to get a good, clear perspective on everything.
I keep you out of jail.
Keep us out of jail.
Yes, I love everybody here, and my agents will tell you I'm extremely analytical. We share the loops, you know, as part of the training. When you want to talk to one of us, let us know. Because as part of the training, when we're doing dot loop training and so forth, you'll find out real quick that we share the loops with the agents, not
Yeah,
because
we
we're nosy and want to get into the stuff. We're there to be able to help you because we do everything. Our iPads, pretend that's an iPad, or the hard, you know, the desktop computers. So let's say that you're at the beach and I'm over here at the office grinding away. No, just kidding. And you have a question about contract. Well, instead of hypothetically wondering which contract it is and so forth, we share those apps with one another. So these are just a couple little things I want to throw in there before we get into our PowerPoint presentation. There's so much that we offer in a plethora of tools. It's a fun place to work. We love
Yeah,
it.
it is. Yeah, we're fun. Aren't we fun?
We are.
We're
We
fun.
are.
So, yeah, wait till you see what we have for you.
Yeah.
So setting the expectations for the sellers, they got to look at it through the home buyer's eyes. They got to look at their home through the home buyer's eyes. And it makes them really take a step back and see this as a commodity. Studies show it takes 10 seconds to make a first impression. When you're selling a house, the bad first impression is a deal breaker. If the exterior is cringeworthy, buyers won't walk through that front door. That's the absolute truth. They'll never see the stunning master suite or any of the upgrades that seller may have done. That's true.
Very
You know,
much
even
so.
if the outside is plain Jane with no flowers, it's grass in the yard, you need to put some flowers in that yard, and we'll go into that as we go through these slides. But, you know, this is, you've got to, that expectation for that seller has to stay focused on, I now have a product on the market.
Exactly.
And that's really it, right?
It's a commodity. It's no longer
It
your
is.
home. You have to
It's a
take
commodity.
the
Let me make this a
the
little bit bigger.
expectation.
Oops.
Okay.
Oops.
It'll come back.
I took it out. There we go. Hit the wrong button here. I was trying to get under my.
There we are.
go. No, I keep, sorry, guys. I'll just leave it on this.
There we go.
Okay. So setting the expectations, we're here to give advice, encouragement, and direction to our sellers to maximize their price on their home in the time frame they need to sell. That's our job. You guys are talking about pricing the homes on the last hour, which was remarkable. I love Craig's input on this because it is, he's so clear on everything. And that is exactly the way we need to be with our sellers. And, you know, properly pricing these homes, everybody, all our sellers do want to push the prices now, which with you guys and us, I'm okay with pushing prices as long as we have a clear communication up front saying, okay, in 2 weeks, if we don't get any offers, if we don't get any showings, we're coming down 5%.
Correct.
Have
And-
those
and
adjusted
we
in.
separate the emotions from the pricing because sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard for a seller to let go of that house that they've raised their family in, that house that they watched their children grow up in. And to them, that house is always going to be worth a lot more because of the emotion than what it actually is. So it's our jobs to kindly walk them through that process so that
That's
they're
right.
not disappointed when that house sits on that market for 6 months with no offers, no showing. And we didn't take the time to tell them, you know, I agree with you. I remember Mary Jane when she was in the kitchen. I remember Billy too. But you know what? This is what we're dealing with and this is where you need to be. So let me help you get there.
Yeah. So one of the things we can recommend is an appraisal, that the seller get an appraisal before we list it.
Yes.
This way, it at least gives him the expectation and the knowledge of what an appraiser will look at when he has a buyer coming in to buy the house. And I know the prices are going up right now. So, and things are fluid. Actually, they're very fluid in some areas. So, but an appraisal will set that expectation. The seller will know. And even if he says, well, the appraiser said I can only, you know, they'll appraise it for 340. Well, I want to put it at 375. Well, if there's nothing on the market, I just did this today with one of the agents. I got nothing. There's no active listings on this one listing we're taking. So what do? You can roll the dice.
You can.
And run it up the flagpole. We used to call running it up the flagpole and
yeah.
see if anybody will salute it and see if they'll come to the table with an offer. If not, then we've got to keep bringing those prices down.
With the caveat,
recommend-
this is where you want it to be, but understand if we're not getting an action with us with a certain amount of time, we're going to revisit this. I'm going to update you each week. I'm going to let you know what's happening. You know, they're going to have a good idea themselves, especially when they're still living in the house and trying to sell it. Now we're seeing more people that have bought their second homes and moved out, and that's
Yeah.
actually made selling a whole lot easier than having it, especially with COVID-19.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're going to get into COVID too toward the end of today to really set up some standards for you guys. You need to discuss staging, a staging company, recommend a staging company, or tell the sellers what they can do to stage your home. Rearrange furniture, declutter. I know, Kat, you don't like decluttering, so we're going to
Depersonalize. Teach
Get the
the
stuff out.
sellers to make that. I always tell my sellers, make it look almost like a hotel room. You know, when you walk into a hotel room, what do you see? It's open, it's depersonalized. You don't want your child's pictures all over the internet. You don't want law enforcement badges, pictures all over the internet. You don't want all that personal. So you depersonalize. And I choose that word because I remember one time a listing I had in Waimama. It was full of antiques. And as soon as I walked in there, I fell in love with it. It was an amazing house. And that house was hard to comp. And long story short, I said, well, we'll have to depersonalize some things, but we can work through the process. I got hired because I didn't use the word declutter. So there you have it.
There you go. So you may have a challenge too with people like dead animal heads on their walls.
Yes, you have to depersonalize those creatures and go into the closets. Yes, I had that too.
You know, I've had those. You got to take them down, but those are my trophies. Well, they're not. People might not like those.
They will scare the children. They will scare women like me. So, yeah.
So one of the challenges we're having right now with listings is people like a lot of color in their homes. I mean, that is the thing now. You know, we went from Ralph Lauren to the darker colors now to the bright colors. That's wonderful while they're living there. But the best thing you can do is tell this seller, you need to neutralize.
We don't want
neutral soft colors.
Please
You want
don't
that? Let's see you know, because then the buyer can walk in and really focus on what they can do with it themselves.
And feel it themselves. The whole idea is for the buyer to walk in there and go, oh, I can see this there. I can see my Chase Lounge over there. I can see my chandelier up here. They want to see themselves in there. They don't want to walk in and say, oh my God, this place looks like a moratorium. Is this a museum?
Yeah. Yeah, we've had those too. Create curb appeal. Okay. A buyer drives up to see the house. They get out of the car. That yard needs to be mowed. You need to have beds with flowers or pots with flowers. You need to have a welcoming entryway. You need to have everything clean, pretty, brushed off on the front, power washed. That seller needs to do a lot of stuff. And this is, you know, this is advice that you've got to continue on with the seller, because as you're listed this house, after you've listed it, there's stuff they may not have completely done. There's stuff that you're hearing from the buyer's agents now going, oh, it smells like smoke. This is stuff you've got to address and continue on. So this is part of the communication. So
we don't like that sofa on the front porch. Why is there a lazy boy chair on the front porch? Why is the garage open and we can see all the clutter from 1900?
Yep. So that's all got to be addressed with the seller. And I know sometimes it takes a while. It may take a while to depersonalize and get rid of stuff and get pods. It's a good thing to do is recommend pods. You've got to highlight the home's best features. So we've gone from outside to inside.
And we also can let them know about people that will come by, like the Lighthouse for the Blind, that'll help them take stuff out of the house if they would like to have some things donated to help clear the house out. Those are very helpful suggestions.
Yeah. Estate sales are amazing because they'll come in, they'll organize everything, they'll get stuff sold, and what they don't sell, they'll take with them. The buyer's making a little money, the house is getting cleaned out. You know, that's a good thing to do. And if you're going to do a estate sale after you list the house, which half the time we do here, actually for one selfish purpose, it really helps drives buyers to the house. And so you can, as an agent, you can stand there with these estate sales and hand out your flyers.
And C21 gives a discount on pods in case you need to use pods.
That's right. That's right.
They do offer a discount. So that's a good thing for your seller to know.
Yeah. And moving companies. Okay. One of the things also is having a home inspection done and fixed and everything fixed before I get the listing. We go into the pre-loved homes with our company on this. If they will do this, it will, I guarantee you, help this house sell faster and probably for a little bit more money. If they have a home inspection, they got that report sitting there on the table with everything taken care of with the receipts. They are going to be really very comfortable making an offer on this house.
And you bridge trust by offering that to your sellers and explaining how effective it is. And
Yeah.
if the seller wants you to be there during it, you can do it because then you'll be on knowledge, you'll be on notice of whatever the issues are. So it'll have to be disclosed in the seller's disclosure. If that's if issues come up, the seller will, if they don't get it fixed, and then whatever has been repaired, of course, the seller will let everybody know what they've gotten repaired. But I will tell you, it's a huge trust builder. I had clients that had homes in the 70s and 60s. First thing I said is, before we list, we need the inspection because you don't know what lies beneath the panel, the roofing, and so forth. And it'll save that seller so much money and heartache. And once they get that done, they got a clean bill of sale. When the buyer comes along, and the inspector will say it. I can't tell you how many times this has come up for me. This home's already been inspected. There's a little sticker here. This house is in great shape. I don't have any major issues to report to you, Mr. Buyer. Your sellers are so happy. They did it up front.
Half the time they won't even get a home inspection because they've got yours. It's just brand new.
That's exactly right.
A lot of ease of mind. You're not going to be quibbling back and forth during the inspection periods. It just alleviates a lot of things. So the seller's expectations needs to know why this is so good for him to do. The other thing is getting a preliminary title search. This way there's no hidden things, and there may not be, but we won't know until a real title search is done. And if there's any discrepancies on the title, it's better to know up front so we can address them. And then this way, when we go get under contract and start doing everything, we won't come across any surprises.
And
we
you
don't want
close on
surprises.
time. And you will close on time.
Absolutely.
Multiple times. I've had multiple situations come up to where a seller thought that they had a satisfaction of mortgage on a property and they had bought another property and they didn't. I can think of 3 closings right off the top of my head that had I not done this, we would not have closed on time.
That's right. Absolutely. So I got a cute little story. One of my deals I had many years ago, I was getting a listing. It was good. We went to go to closing. We got a buyer for it. Great. They did the title search. They found the previous seller had, when they closed, there was 4 kids on it with the parents on the house. 4 kids signed off, parents signed off, title company closed. Well, there was a 5th child. He was in prison. Nobody went to prison to get his signature, and they closed on it. That had to be all redone. Yeah. All redone. And so we couldn't close. We were delayed 30, 45 days. So they got this off the, off the title and stuff. So had we done a preliminary title search back then, this would have come up. We would have known about it. We could have worked through it until we went to closing and had a good closing. But instead we had to hold off 30 days. So things come up, guys.
Well, you and I had one last year. Remember the one you and I had where the title was, the description of the survey was done on a number of properties and the survey was done incorrectly, and we had to backtrack. The original attorney, thank God they're still alive, and they were practicing to the deed. Remember that?
Yes.
That was good, Lauren. That was really good. The title search, our title company caught that.
Yeah.
And we had to we other title attorneys that didn't want to do the work that was necessary because they kept saying, well, they represent the buyers. No, you're a title company attorney, you represent the transaction. And there was a lot of confusion with that. And they operated on that, remember?
Yeah, that's a big deal because that originally closed. I sold that piece of property in 2004.
Right.
I had a buyer for it, so he bought it. So then they listed it and sold it with us years later.
Right.
And when they closed back then, they didn't do it properly.
No.
And I went through an attorney's back then. So yeah, we had a little while. I'm so glad you were on that, Kat, because we had the attorneys, and when they figured out you were an attorney, they were able to, you had a lot of legalese going on.
Because they didn't want to respect what we were telling them. I'm so sorry, Mr. Lawyer. This is one situation where you really don't know what you're talking about, but you have to diplomatically explain that. So having the credentials helped, put the fire under it, and we closed. Yay.
Yeah, we closed. All closings are good when they close.
Yes.
So you've got to think about the condition of the house, and we're spending a lot of time on this because this doesn't just happen up front, guys, because you're going to have sellers that go, I don't want to fix anything, or I can't afford to fix anything. You know, so you've got a situation there, but you've got to keep in front of them and discussing what has to happen, especially before we get a buyer in. So you got to discuss repairs, replacements, permits. We're fortunate we can search permits now with Hillsborough, Pinellas, Sarasota County, Manatee County, and see for ourselves what's open in there. Any upgrades, we have to have a discussion about that, because you can walk into a situation like this. I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to blow this up so y'all can see this.
This is a real listing. Not
Do you
ours.
think
We didn't do
the
this.
condition, look at, he's taking a nap. But I mean, if you're going to walk in there and try and list this house, first thing you're going to say is, well, no livestock in the house.
Yeah, there's lots of liability with that.
No livestock in the house. So, but there will be times when y'all will come across situations you're going to go walk in and go, oh my God, what do I do? Well, you got to chunk it down a little at a time. You've got to
Instead of a-
educate the seller.
Yep, instead of a pig, it might be a pit bull.
Yeah.
Serious
Yeah.
stuff, guys. Strict liability. You don't want that dog getting out and biting people.
Nope.
There's no
Nope.
one bite rule. Florida abolished that in 1978. You don't get a
Yep.
free bite.
Yeah, no free bites. So, you know, you've got to discuss the age of the roof. You know, right now, the roof could look amazing outside. I had this discussion today with a listing we're getting too. The roof is 17 years old. Actually, it was a contract. Looks great. It's watertight, looks great. Is it going to be insurable? I don't know. Insurance companies are now pulling the plug at 15 years on most shingle roofs, and because they don't want to insure it over 15 years old. So it depends on the insurance carrier, but you need to know who their insurance carrier is, the sellers, so you can give that information to the buyer, so maybe they can use the same insurance carrier and keep the insurance going, or that roof may have to be replaced.
Yeah, with FHA loans and VA loans, if there's not a certain amount of life left in that roof, guess what? It's not going to fly.
Yeah, it's not going to fly. The age of the HVAC systems. How old is the air conditioner? We've had them 18, 19 years old and working. I don't know. But you need, because discussing all these conditions, even during the listing period before you get a buyer, when you get a buyer, this is all going to come up if these have not been taken care of. You know, you should know what type of plumbing you've got. The seller should, maybe they don't, maybe they've been in there 2 years, they don't have an idea. It could have polybutylene, cast iron, galvanized.
And the seller
on
might
older
have a
houses.
transferable home warranty. It's really a good idea to get a seller's home warranty.
Absolutely,
Each
absolutely.
property I list, I've done this for years.
Yeah.
If the seller, for some reason, is short on the money, I will go ahead and sponsor that for them to make sure they have a home warranty on that property. It really gives peace of mind. Then the buyer feels like they're walking into a home that if there's a problem with the air conditioner, okay, well, I know I have a home warranty and I know they're going to come out and fix it.
Yeah, and so, you know, because that will cover your appliances, even if they're older. It'll cover quite a few things on the home warranty that's transferable. Or if the seller decides to get a home, offer a home warranty to the buyers, which they should, then they can get the home warranty for $75 through the 6 months of their listing period, and they don't have to pay it unless they have a claim, which
Correct.
is cool.
Yep.
But they do have to give a home warranty to the buyers, and that's worth $500, guys. It's worth all the money in the world,
Peace of
especially on
mind.
older homes.
Peace
You
of
know? So you've got a lot of condition issues to talk about. I mean, age of flooring, the baths, the kitchens, the pools. This all plays into pricing, which y'all covered last hour, but it truly does. And I know the seller has lived there. You've listed it. You've now got it active. But if they're not willing to, if they can't do any of the upgrades, and a lot of times they can't, you know, they're going to pay for the upgrades either off the price of their house and not being able to upgrade, or putting upgrades in. They've got to pick.
Mhm.
You know, because they don't get the high-end prices, better prices for, you know, dated kitchens and bathrooms and pools that need to be repaired, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So these are discussions that are ongoing through your listing.
And sometimes sellers want to give credits, and sometimes they don't want to do any of the work, and they might be willing to give a credit based off of what it would cost for, let's say, an invoice on carpeting or flooring or this or that.
Yeah, Absolutely. And that is when you're dealing with the inspection period and stuff, when you get when the inspection permit, the inspection reports back. If you've got sellers like we do here in Sun City, we got people that they can't do it. They're older. They don't have the money, or they just can't do it, and they don't want to, so they can put money out there at them. So, the money, if you need a lot of repair, your money's going to go there, or you're going to put the repairs in. Either way, you're going to have to spend the money.
Right.
The permits is a big issue and has been for the last 10 years now. This is a big deal, because what happens if we close on a house that has open permits or expired permits or anything, that new buyer inherits them. That becomes their problem. Most buyers, and if they've got good agents like us on the buyer side of the deal, are going to insist on the pulling the permits, looking at them, and insist the seller close them out or take care of them. So that is a major issue, especially when you're dealing with older houses. Here in Sun City, we have a lot of little handymen that are bored. They put on rooms. They put on
All these
bathrooms.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, without
All these,
permit.
I've seen them too. All kinds
So
of trouble.
they've got to go back and get an engineer to inspect everything, to bring that to code. They've got to do before they can sell it. They've got to go through the steps, spend the money that they were trying to save, before, to get everything to where it should be, to be able to close property. Even the title companies don't like to close any property with open permits anymore.
And if you're lucky, if there was work done, let's say there's a expired permit or an open permit, and it was done by a contractor, you chase down that contractor and you call, because trust me, you will have to call them a gazillion times for them to pick up, and you'll say, it's me again. And they will close it out with the county because they know they're responsible for doing that to begin with. Or if there was an expired permit and the work was never done, you schedule an appointment and the county inspector will come out and see that the work wasn't done, and it'll be closed. So getting them closed out is not life and death. You just have to explain to your seller that, hey, look, this is a process, but it's an easy process. This is what you do, and this is how you get it done. Now, you're going to find from time to time when you represent sellers that are out of state, they're not here to do all that legwork. So that's going to be you running around to get it done. That's not very often, but when it does happen, you have the tools and the wherewithal to know how to do it. Because you know the process. You get down to the county, you sit there in the line, you let them know what needs to be closed out. Here's a proof of the permit that was done, blah, 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 and you'll get it done. You just can't overlook and say, yeah, I'll get to it manana, because when it comes to permits and the county or the city for getting these things closed, it's manana. You have
they're backed up.
to stay on them and babysit them. And you have to be nice. Even if you've called them 15 times and they keep telling you that they've done it when they haven't, you have to say, I'm so glad. It's so nice to talk to you. By the way, would you please? You can't say, look, you bunch of idiots, I've asked you 15 times to do this and you still haven't done it. No, you can't come at them like that because they're sensitive. And we got to be respectful, and it's our reputations.
And if you think about it, what's getting done right now, we got a ton of homes being built. Do you think they're stretched? They're stretched beyond limits right now. So you've got to have patience with that. But you need to take care of this up front and during the beginning of the listing or before the listing, because if it's not, you're delaying your closings. Guys, we don't want to delay closings. We're trying to give the seller the best experience. And all this can delay closings. So you need to recommend a home inspection, and with that, a certificate, elevation certificate, if you need one, if you're on the water, and maybe a 4-point inspection, because that buyer is going to need a 4-point inspection anyway for their insurance company. So if your seller will get one done, it'll help this house sell much faster. The 4 points only run about $125, $150. It's not a lot of money on top of the regular home inspection.
Homes that are 30 years and older, they have to have the 4-point. There's no way around it for insurance.
That's true. Yeah, the insurance companies are requiring that. They're getting a lot tighter.
And your termite for your VA loans.
That's right. You've got to recommend that they complete all the repairs on the home inspections and have the report and list of repairs and items ready for the buyers. They really need to do that. If they can't, at least the home inspection will tell the buyer what needs to be done, and they'll know, and everything is clear. I believe in clarity on these contracts and on these offers, and nothing hidden, because you get in trouble when you try and hide stuff. So everything needs to be out up front on all this stuff. So it's got to be, everything obviously has to be in the seller's reports and everything, you know, for the buyers. But the home inspections, I can't even stress enough how important these are. And if you're on the buyer side, just a side note, if you have a buyer that says, I don't need home inspection, before you slap them, tell them, look, I need you to sign an addendum here that says, you're not holding me responsible. I told you you need a home inspection. Everyone needs a home inspection. I don't care if they're a contractor.
Absolutely.
Inspectors look for
Absolutely.
things, you know.
Because what'll happen is if you don't get that waiver in writing and there's a problem later, guess what the buyers like to do? They like to file complaints with the DPPR and they want to say, my agent told me I didn't need an inspection, even though you
Yeah.
didn't say that.
Yep.
It can go like that. You don't want that.
You can. So we're going to hit on some of the seller's objections. You know, we hit on this before you list because we know you're going to have these. But guess what happens after you list? The house is sitting on the market for 2 months at the overpriced price everybody agreed on, and you already told the seller, you know, we'll try it your way, but don't yell at me for a month. And now it's not selling. So pricing these homes, setting these, helping these sellers overcome these objections with these sellers is upfront, letting them know, I know you want the higher price. We'll try it for a minute, but you're going to sign, as we list the house, automatic price reduction every 2 weeks. We used to do that in 2005 and 6. And we need to get back to that because everybody's pushing prices right now. But having those scheduled price reductions will save you heartache and headache, and the seller will be very clear on what he needs to do to get his house sold. Length of time on the market in today's market, does anything last more than 2 weeks?
Not
No.
really. Nope.
Only if they're overpriced. That's it, or in bad condition. So servicing this listing is you're having to deal with all this as you're going through this list, the listing with your seller. And so being very clear on all this up front and reminding them as you're going through, you know, we've talked about this, we've discussed this. You know, I know you wanted to try it at the higher price. You need to sell it by next month, though. Let's bring that price down.
And the cost
Commissions.
to carry. We explained to them the cost to carry for the utilities,
Yes.
for the insurance,
Thank
the
you.
alarm, the HOA or the condo association, your taxes, all of that matters. If they say, well, I don't have a mortgage, it doesn't matter. I'm like, well, actually it does, because here's what it's costing you to carry for each month. And wouldn't you like to take that money and be able to plan towards a nice vacation? Or maybe you want to buy a boat, or
Yeah.
maybe you want to get a new car. Well, you know, that $1,000 a month that you're spending, we can get this done a whole lot quicker, and you can get on and get in that boat or that car or that vacation.
Yeah. That's true. And I will tell you that cost to carry is going to cut into their profitability after 2 months, 3 months
Yes.
on what they're thinking. And they don't even think about that at the time. They really don't think about their cost to carry. They think, oh, we're going to sell it right away and we're going to close in 2 weeks. Well, you know, that never happens unless we have cash. Sometimes
No,
it
that's
happens.
true. And on closings, we need to have 45 days out, you know, because with TRID and everything else, it's difficult to get that closed sooner. We're in the holidays. Now, if it's cash, we can get we can get it done a little faster, but you don't want to do closings on Friday because everybody and their mother's doing it on Friday. And guess what? Mr. Buyer has his truck all packed up and he wants to get into the house over the weekend. Guess what's going to happen?
You won't be able
Friday,
to.
I close. Saturday, Sunday, he's going to have to stay with mom and dad or Hotel 8. Not going to be happy.
Yep. So, you know, and we do have the end of the year coming up. I'm glad you brought that up, Kat, because at the end of the year, what happens the last day of the year, the 31st, everybody wants to close. So don't do that to yourselves. If you still got time and you're trying to set up a closing now, do it for the 26th, 27th,
Yes.
22nd.
21st.
You know, don't do it for the last day. It may not happen.
Next
You
week.
know, next week, yeah, 2 weeks. So commissions, you know, everybody's talking about commissions. We've always had problems with commissions. This is nothing new. We've had in 2003, 4, and 5, we had discounters out there doing 2%, 2%, 1% on each side. They didn't stay in business, obviously. You know, so, but we have always had people trying to undercut, but really when you're talking commissions, what are they, what do they want us to take out? We do so much for these sellers, and what are they getting for discounted commissions? Not much. No service. Things going into MLS and 3 other sites, And that's it. We're in over 800 sites. We're full service. We do a lot more. But remember, it's only an objection. People have to throw it out there because I got to try and save some money somewhere. So let's take it off the agent.
Sure.
It's an objection. And, you know, I love how Jeff responds to this. All right, will you cut your commissions? No. Next question. That's Jeff's
marketing,
response.
And all the marketing that we offer, that's both here and abroad, international marketing, and each one of our sites has a translator. So if you need somebody from Russia, somebody from China, somebody from Spain, somebody from Peru, somebody from Argentina, and so on and so on, German, French, it's there. It's there. Not all brokerages offer that extensive service.
Most don't. Yeah, most don't. Especially your discount ones, you know, the 100% commission companies, you know, they're undercutting everybody right now because that's all they can do. They can't offer these sellers anything more.
They don't offer any of those services. They just sign in the yard, you're in the MLS, bye-bye. Maybe Zillow.
And are they trained? No.
Nope.
Our biggest issues right now are untrained agents on the other side, our club ropes. And we have to be patient with them and help train them because they haven't had any real training at all.
No.
So, you know, that is one of the things that Kat and I deal with on a continuous basis.
Every day.
Every day. So just remember, commissions are only an objection. And they're going to say, well, I got to cut my price on my house. You need to cut your commission. Well, the answer is, I'm already cutting my commission because your price on your house, no, I'm not getting as much commission because we're cutting the price on your house.
Right.
So we are already cutting our commission there.
Right.
Right. That's a good response back.
It's the truth.
Cleaning. Not everybody's idea of cleaning is the same. Just putting it politely. You know, these houses today, you know, even though houses are selling fast, the best price, the best maintained homes and the cleanest homes sell first, period.
Sure.
Anything else other than that, it's going to take longer and you're going to get less money. So, you know, helping these sellers know what they've got to deal with. You know, if they've got a new home from 2017, 18, 19, they just have to maintain it up and clean it up and get a house cleaner in there maybe. But your older homes need some deep cleaning. And they need to be straightened up and repaired. And I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but this is some of the biggest objections you're going to get when you're servicing the seller. This is ongoing, guys. This doesn't stop after you sign that listing contract. This is ongoing hand-holding.
And I've always kept in my phone a speed dial list of really good people that I know that are reputable, that the seller can talk to and interview on their own time to do the cleaning of that house. There isn't a listing that I've ever put up that didn't get professionally cleaned.
Yeah. Most sellers don't think they have to do the repairs. Well, I'll just sell it as is.
No.
The problem with selling it as is, now you're telling the world that you'll take a lot less for the house because you haven't taken care of it.
Pretty much.
True.
Pretty much.
So it's to their best interest to do some stuff. Permits we talked about. They don't want signage. We have this on occasion. I don't want a sign in my yard. I don't want my neighbors to know I'm selling. I've heard this. Have you heard that?
Absolutely. Many times. Yes.
It's crazy. But you have to understand this is how one of the things we do to market a house. We have to have the signage.
Buyers still drive through neighborhoods. They want to get a feel for the property. They can do a lot on the internet, but it's still a very personal, touching, feeling experience. They want to know where the house is. They want to see on the outside, does it look as good as it does in the pictures? Because as we well know, some pictures are better than others. They want to make sure that the house that they're in love with really does exist and look like that. So they'll drive by and they'll see the sign. Then they'll call their agent.
We need the signage. And for our own selfish sake, we get our buyers from our signage. We can double side our listings through our signage.
Yeah.
You know, we can find more people if we've got good signs. Signage has always been a good thing for the industry. And because it is screaming out there, I am for sale, and that listing agent should be getting the buyer calls. And with our company, thank God, the lead router, all of our listing agents have the first opportunity to get their sign calls.
And sign writer up, sure.
Yeah, put your sign writer, but you've got first opportunity to get your sign calls. Yep. They don't want a lockbox. They want you there for every showing. You've been through that. You've been through that. It's not good for you. It's not good for the seller, and the buyers won't stay in the house.
It's counterproductive, and you're going to lose time that you could be using marketing that house and doing prospecting. We'll get into that shortly. You don't want to
Yep.
lose that traction for your seller. And if you're opening up the house every single time there's a showing, you're losing valuable time. Your seller deserves better.
Yep. And to be honest with you, the buyer's agents, they don't want you there.
Oh,
The
no.
buyers will not stay in that house very long if they know you're there. That is true.
Yeah.
They will go in, they'll
They want
breeze
the
around, they'll
privacy.
feel comfortable, and they'll leave.
Yeah, they want to be able to speak their mind. They want to be able to say, okay, I really love this, but I'm just not so sure about this kitchen, without somebody around the corner with a frown going,
Yeah. Yeah. So, they want to be able to really spend time, feel the house, they need to be in that house for a while to feel like a home to them. Because how do people buy? They buy on emotions
they
first.
do. They do.
That's it.
They
And
really
then
do.
secondly, they justify with logic, but they buy on emotions.
The
And they've got
longer
to
they
feel
spend in
that's a
that
home.
house, the more likely that's going to be the one that makes that purchase. And when they walk in and out quickly, more often than not, they're not buying.
They're not buying. So here's the lock boxes. I see on occasion people still trying to use little push button lock boxes or stuff. Please don't do that to your seller. It's not secure. For
Mhm.
one, you can't track who's been in there because on occasion, buyer's agents will run around and not call you beforehand. At least you'll know who's been in there because it's electronic and computerized. So you need to be using lock boxes, electronic lock boxes on every listing, period.
And it allows you to follow up with every single one of the showings to get feedback that they may be hesitant, because they don't have to leave feedback. It's a courtesy to us that they do. Is
Yeah.
it appreciated? Do we want it? Absolutely. Is it required? No, they don't have to, unless the buyer's comfortable with it and the buyer can tell the agent, this is what I want you to tell them. I don't want you to tell them that I think the house is haunted, but that the house is dark. Things like
Yeah.
that. So it gives you an opportunity to get, not only to get feedback, but to get an idea if there's an offer coming and those type of things. And you start building a relationship. You also can see how long the person was in the house by the length of time that they spent in there. Those are all things that you're going to be able to convey to your seller later. This is all feedback. It's all part of the process.
And it's all communication with the seller. And the whole theme of this whole little hour here is communication with the seller on an ongoing basis. It's not just a once a week phone call. And I've come to the slide now that says you need to do at least a weekly follow-up phone call. But you should be communicating.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Golden ruler reports, we just got reinstated again. I love those. Those get sent out to your sellers every 2 weeks. You are copied on them, and you should be calling your seller with that. Let them know how many people are looking at their houses online. And when he's saying, well, my house hasn't been shown, I've only had 2 people in here, but he's had 2,000 people online looking at it, you can show him exactly where they're coming from and how many people are really looking at it, and if you've had any inquiries. I love Golden Ruler for that fact. It puts a seller's mind at ease that, oh, people are looking at my house. It's also a great tool to use for price reductions.
Absolutely, hands down. Because if you start seeing the numbers dip down, 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 you have the proof. I'm a big fact person. I'm a big data person, and a lot of my sellers are too. Most of the sellers are, actually. It's numbers. They want to see the numbers. This helps you show the numbers so that it's not you being subjective saying, well, yeah, it's such a nice house, but here's the numbers. Yeah, this allows you to have the objectivity to stand back and say, this is where we're at. This is what we need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are the other things we do for our sellers, guys? Some of this goes above and beyond, but I will tell you, when you start doing this stuff that you think I shouldn't be doing, you will be doing if you really want to take great care of your clients, your sellers. You're going to help them contact trades. Get the trades lined up for them. Have them pick the trades, but help them get them lined up. You're going to help them with movers. We've got moving companies that we got discounts. We got pods we get discounts with. You can help them with that. Contact cleaning companies. If you notice their house is a little dirty, it's like, I know a couple of great cleaning companies that can come in here and make your house sparkle. Help them with that. Help them with the utility company information. If they've been in the house a long time, they have no idea how to disconnect their water, their electric, and anything else half the time. They know who they pay, but they don't know how to get it done.
Absolutely.
We do have utility helpers with that we do give our clients and help them with. But we're talking about helping this seller as we go through the process. and we're talking about constant communications actually. Showcasing your home through professional photography, guys. I can't even express this enough. You got to have professional photography. This is a great little camera for fun. And
Yeah.
it does take amazing pictures. This is not to take pictures of your house,
Or
to save
selfies.
some money.
Yeah.
Photography is your first line of marketing, period, on the internet. And if you got great pictures, we call it stickiness on the internet. People will stay in and look at your pictures longer
Yes.
and look at that house and spend more time if your pictures are great. I don't mean good, I mean great.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Yeah. With COVID, we now are doing 360 virtual tours. Those are amazing. I love those. You can look up, you can look at the ceiling, look down at the floors, look all the way around. You need to, yes, pay for those. I'm sorry. It's not a little bit of money that's really going to help you sell that house
It's
a
a
lot faster.
fraction.
Yeah.
Especially for your international buyers, especially with the aerial photography, with drones. My condo went under contract because of that, because of the area tour that was done that she talked about,
Yeah.
every market, the stores, because Sarasota downtown is a hot market. How are you going to get somebody to buy your condo over the other 999 ones that are out there, or St. Pete, or Tampa? Condos are very tough. Townhouses are tough. So how do you do it? The virtual tours, the aerial photography will seal the deal. Your international buyers especially want to be able to see that. Not to dismiss your local buyers, but we have a lot of European buyers buying over here. They expect to see that. And if they don't, they're going to just pass over your property. It's just going to sit there.
Absolutely.
That brings the community to life, because remember what we're doing. We're selling community lifestyles. And if you don't take the time to do that and have subtitles under there for what each one of these things are, walk them through all the way to the beach. You won't regret it. Yes, it's a lot of work up front, but you'll get it sold faster and you'll get the price that the seller wants.
Do you think this is going to give the seller peace of mind too, that you've done this? He will love you forever.
Oh, they appreciate it dearly. And sometimes they want it as a souvenir. Sometimes there's been a death in the family and the spouse would like to have the photos that you put together of that property in a memory book. I've done that on so many occasions for widows and widowers. It meant so much to them. So that's a near and dear to my heart, and something to think about, because a lot of times when people are listing, it's been a divorce, there's been a death or a job loss, or they're upgrading or they're downsizing. So when those tragedies come in, you can make something bittersweet into a beautiful experience for them. One of the listings that I had, there was in the backyard, there was a bench that was actually bolted into the ground. We couldn't get it up. And it had a heart carved in there and their initials in there. They had lived in that house for 75 years.
Oh my.
I got a picture of that bench because it resonated with me. And that meant more to her. I get chills thinking about it. Meant more to her than any of the other photos, because she'll never get to see that again.
Absolutely. I mean, this is incredible stuff. We live in Tampa Bay. What do we have around us? A lot of water. A lot of water. The aerials, even in Sun City Center, we have a lot of lakes here, a lot of ponds. We have a lot of water.
You do.
You need to showcase the water. People move to Tampa for one reason, for the bay and for the water and for the, and everything else here. But when you're showing aerials over Apollo Beach, over the beaches on the in St. Pete and stuff, I mean, will create major stickiness of them watching and looking at your pictures online.
Yeah.
Most agents won't do this because guess what? It costs a little money. But this is the best investment.
Big deal. And you write it off your taxes. It's all advertising expenses. Come on.
And it's investment in your seller. It's an investment in your business.
Yes.
And
you'll get repeat business for making the extra step. This is how we do it.
Absolutely. So Ken, I'm going to have you talk about reverse prospecting, because you are the queen. You taught half my office how to do reverse prospecting.
I love reverse prospecting because it gives you a great feel for what's going on in the market. The easiest thing with reverse prospecting is when you pull up your listing, you're going to go to the very bottom. You're going to click on highlight reverse prospecting. It's at the very bottom of the MLS when you pull up your listing. And then what's going to come up is a gazillion names. And sometimes you'll see little hearts, smileys, and that sort of thing. And what you're going to do is you're going to be able to email each one of those agents that their client is interested in this property. Now, these agents may not even know the client's interested in the property because they have their clients on an automated mailing list. So your job is to get in front of that agent and say, hey, look, I'm going to have an open house. Would you like to come see it before I do the open house? You know, it's only been on the market a couple of days. I'm getting a lot of activity. When was your client like to see it? You'll be able to send over information, let's say a feature sheet that they overlook that's in the MLS, because sometimes buyers agents are so busy because they're showing a gazillion houses to a gazillion different buyers. Any little step you can do to make their job easier makes you shine. You build a relationship, and that's going to be the one that's going to bring you an offer. If you can't get a buyer yourself, or for whatever reason your buyer isn't ready to make that purchase, either way, your job is to get that home sold, whether you double-sided or a co-broke. And I believe the statistics show 65% of homes that are sold are usually by co-broke. And how do you get in front of the co-broke? It's not just putting a sign in the yard. It's not just the MLS. It's a lot of communication and going behind the scenes, going behind and reverse prospecting and clicking it on and email. And you can cut and paste a email that you want to send to everybody for consistency. I recommend that, because then that way it doesn't show favoritism that you like this particular agent more than that agent or anything like that. So by doing this, it does produce a wonderful list of agents that want to see your property. And then in turn, you're able to tell your seller, by the way, I talked to 350 agents this week that are interested in your property. And they're like, how can that be? And I had that question thrown at me on a listing out here. And I showed the reverse prospecting, and I showed them all the emails, because I had a very tough client who was more data and more analytical than myself. He was a challenge, but I could put my money where my mouth is and show the results. I will tell you that gentleman still refers me a lot of business. And I closed his house last year. There isn't a day that goes by that somebody hasn't talked to this particular man. And I always smile, because I'm like, oh yes, I know who that is. Da, 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 da. So reverse prospecting gets you the business, not only to get it sold, but it gives you the additional credibility to your seller. It shows them what you're doing in addition to everything else that you're doing.
Absolutely. So now we're going to roll into social media.
Ah, we love that.
Massive exposure through automated postings nationally and internationally on many social platforms. If you're not doing this for your listings, seriously, spending time on social media, posting your listings, talking about your listings, you're missing the boat.
It's so easy to do this. If you go into your realtor.com account as an agent, all your listings are there. Guess what? There's a spot where it says send, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, all of them. You can do it, and it takes 3 seconds. You cut the link, you pop it into your Facebook account, your business Facebook account. Once it comes up, you can delete the actual thing that you pasted in there, and you put a description in there, and you send it. You can also have boosting platforms on any of these social medias, just about, where you can boost your listing on it.
Yeah, for pennies. Yeah, it's not very expensive at all.
It's not. For $10, you can have it blasted out for a solid week. Or you can do it yourself. If you have multiple listings, you can do it. You can pick times. This is part of your schedule that you're going to have as an agent for marketing and for your other skill sets that you're going to be working on for every day. You can do this twice a week, 3 times a week. I always found it's more effective to do it on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Mondays doesn't get as much traction. People are tired from the workday. Tuesdays start to pick up a little bit. But by Wednesday, they're out there looking, and it's usually in the evenings. So that's when you want to do it. And you just track it. You can track it on your spreadsheet. You can see how much hits you get. It'll tell you how many responses you get.
Yep. So open house system. They wanted us to talk about that, because what you can do while you're sitting in your open houses is do your social media posting, right?
Yeah.
You can do all that. We do have a great system. Yeah. So with your seller, you need to explain this open house system that we have, because they'll love it if they'll allow us. I know with COVID, a lot of sellers don't want to have open houses. I'm fine with that. We have to do what the seller wants, but if they're allowing us to, or if it's a vacant listing, then we can. Sellers need to be gone. But our system is you send it to listings at C21Beggins.com, and they send it over 800 platforms for you ahead of time. And guys, this is marketing for you, and it's getting that house out there ahead of time to let all these people that are cruising the internet to see that your house is being opened on a certain day. This needs to be done. You need to hand deliver personal invitations to the neighborhood the day before. Personal invitations. You're invited to my open house. I know they're the looky-loos, and you're going to hear that, but all those looky-loos do know people that want to move here. You know, so that's a great time to spend to door knock the neighborhood. Post
And
all.
on that note, I wanted to jump in real quick.
Sure.
Also, don't overlook the HOA community that you're in, that you're doing the open house. You can post it on the bulletin board. If it's a gated community, make nice with the gatekeepers out there, have them get to know them, bring them food. Yes, people like food. Bring them food with the open house. Guess what? They'll let you do that. They'll let you do the open house as long as they know who's coming or they got an idea how many people are coming. There's ways to work around challenging situations. There's businesses in the area that you market yourself with, or you might get your hair done or whatever it is, you shop. Make sure you get it in over there. Sometimes they'll put it up in the windows. My dry cleaners put it up in their windows all the time. My hairstylist puts it up in their windows. All our listings over here in Sarasota, they're getting sold quicker. My agents don't even know I do this. I take a stack of them. I go to all my businesses around here. I hand them out. Guess what? They got more people at the open house. Think out of the box.
Absolutely. So if you're going to do open houses, remember COVID. Have face masks, have additional ones available to hand out. Use hand sanitizer, have it there. Have gloves there to give out. Make sure the seller is gone during that time if it's occupied. And then wipe down everything, before they come back. Please do that. Never let anyone in the open house without getting all of their information because of COVID, for your safety, for the seller's safety and security. Never let anybody in that house.
Don't let them in.
If they're not going to give you any information, say bye-bye. And you don't have to be rude like me, but you can please let them know if this was your home, wouldn't you want to know who's in your house? We need to know. Sellers requiring it, so please do that for us.
Yeah.
Here are the COVID guidelines. We're not going to go through this whole thing because y'all have heard it a lot. And I will send out this slide to you if you want me to. But the reality is we have to make sure everyone is protected. We're protected. The people that are coming in the door are protected, and our sellers are protected. And we got great guidelines. Don't show property to somebody who doesn't feel well. Do not show property. Don't be there if you don't feel well. Risk cannot be completely eliminated. That's a true statement. We have people getting COVID that have no symptoms.
Right.
Be very careful. So make sure you follow all the protocol. What do top agents do for the sellers? They give extraordinary service every time.
Consistently.
That's it. They do. Because they're focused on the seller, on their needs, on the needs of what's happening to them. They're communicating, they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing. Their focus is on that seller. We are here for your finest real estate experience guaranteed. That has been our tagline since probably Craig started the company. It's true. Yes, we do give a money back guarantee. If you don't know about it, get with your managers because we do have money back guarantee. No, we're not going to give the sale price back. It's a service guarantee. But I will tell you, we are the only brokerage I know of in the United States that offers a money back guarantee, guys.
True.
And it keeps us to higher standards. It's going to keep you to a higher standard. You want to be known and that you do give great service. That's what our business is based on. It's based on relationships and service. And without that, you're not going to make money. You're not.
Yeah.
So if you take great care of your sellers, they will take great care of you through the lifetime for referrals and your new business coming in from them.
Very true.
Each client is worth $134,000 in their lifetime to you in commissions.
Absolutely.
So, well, Craig jumped in. I thought he was going to jump in and say the last part. So, hey, Jeff.
Hey,
Craig.
how you doing?
Hey, Jeff. Hey,
Good.
Craig.
Great class.
Thanks.
Lots of great value in there. I think we're having this is a lot of information, a lot of content pushing out
A lot of
there,
information.
but I love it. And we can start to feel the brains melting.
They are. We used to see them, Jeff. They used to be in front of us. We used to see their little brains melting by the second per day.
That's true.
So we know.
Well, I think it's clear I think it should be abundantly clear to everybody how much effort and care we take to make sure as your business partners we're bringing some value to you and making sure that you bring the best A game to your customers because they're our customers collectively. And then to get that $130,000 of your lifetime value out of every customer, you got to do the things that Deb and Kat are talking about and build the connections and do the VAK and build the trust and build the rapport, and everything builds on it. You can't just pick and choose, guys. If this is going to be your career, everything culminates into one.
It does. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It'll be the best career you ever had. I can tell you
Yeah.
hands down. You will not regret a single day. I know I can speak for Deb, and when I say this myself, as well as Jeff and Craig, there is a morning that we get up that we say, oh my God, we don't want to come to work. No, we're actually very excited because we make dreams come true, guys. We are able to do things that no other business gets to do.
That's true.
And who would not be happy? Who would not want to do this?
That's right.
You know, our agents inspire us on a daily basis to sit here and watch y'all grow on a daily basis and watch you take a small little business and explode in a year to 2 years where you're making money that you never even thought you'd make. And it happens to us all the time to watch you guys. So, you know, our wish and our hope for you for the new year is that you really do have an incredible journey in real estate and make the money you want to make.
Yes. So that wraps up. Very great job, ladies. Thank you very much. I mean, we've got an amazing team. Craig and I were just talking about that earlier, about we're very fortunate to have the depth and the breadth of the leadership and assets and skill and years and experience that we have. So it's what we have. So today, so let's see what we've recapped already. So day one was a lot about mindset and just getting mentally prepared to get this business and make sure Q1 is the best level you've ever reached in your career. That makes you happy. Today was all about what to do with sellers and how to find them, the exact step-by-step process on what to do with them to make sure we deliver that finest real estate experience Deb was just talking about and making them happy. And tomorrow, it's going to culminate into the buyer side of the business because, Craig, what percentage are we listings versus buyers?
You're muted. Yeah.
We're like 54% buyers, 46% sellers.
So, I mean, we spent a lot of time focusing on the listing side because every listing brings buyers. But in
We'd
essence,
prefer to be 70% listings sold and 30% buyers.
yeah. But I think with this group, that's going to change because if you put your effort on listings, the buyers are going to come. So I think that's what everybody's starting to see that. And every listing brings 2 or 3 transactions as a result of it. So tomorrow, let's recap what we're going to be doing tomorrow. We've got Joe and I are going to start the morning off with talking about how to speak the financial language with buyers and really kind of repositioning their mind about buying payments versus price and how working with the lenders is really an important aspect to get them on the team. And then that's then 11 to 12, we're going to convert more buyers, building value and trust during the home buying process. 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock is the actual buyer process, turning lookers into buyers like we did today with sellers. We're going to do tomorrow with buyers, a step-by-step guide to make sure that you just fire your checklist off to make sure that you do the best job with that. And then the perfect contract, Craig and I are gonna have a lot of fun with this one, like how to write the perfect contract. Because how many of you have been writing offers and you've lost them and you got beat out? And how many people in the buyer market right now are frustrated because they've tried to buy houses and they keep getting beat out. So we're going to teach you how to do that the right way. And then dealing with multiple offers. That's what we're going to be doing from 3 to 4 tomorrow, and how to negotiate and leverage yourself to make sure that we win more times than not on that one. And then the now what do we do with buyers? Kind of like what we just did with sellers. And we'll wrap up with that tomorrow. And then we'll do another recap on what we did everything at the end of the day. And then we will all rest our vocal cords for a moment. Then we do it again the next morning with Team Huddle. So
Well, I want to comment on this. I mean, we take this, I mean, this has been an industry for us for almost 30 years now.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot of fly-by-nights that come in and think it's really easy, and it's not. And we're not telling you there's an easy path to follow. You have to work, and we're showing you the right ways to do it. But the rewards are out of this world when you get it down. So just understand, if you're new, it takes time to get the practice in, but put the practice time in. It'll make all the difference, and you'll skyrocket quickly rather than taking years and years and years and years to get going.
And I was talking to somebody earlier today about, like, even if you wanted to do 4 or 5 deals, run your business like a business and do them all in January, like you say, Craig, right?
Right.
Just
If
get
you
them
want to do
done.
5 deals a year, do them in January, take the rest of the year off.
Right. But still run your business like a business and then just have fun with it. So that's the thing. Because guys, remember, you owe it to yourself and to your colleagues to bring this A-game professionalism to everybody you meet, because it is a small world. And there'll be your client in Clearwater has a cousin in Orlando who's got a cousin in Sarasota who's got a friend in Anna Maria who also has a guy in Treasure Island who knows somebody on Davis Island and South Tampa and Dunedin and Lakeland and now Ocala and soon West Palm, Miami, and Jacksonville, and Orlando, and Atlanta, and all the stuff that's coming. So when we bring this experience level to every one of our customers, you're doing it for the greater good of everybody, from the brand perspective, from the brokerage perspective, and just for your own personal ability to sleep at night, just knowing that you did your best. And all you got to do is follow the system, guys. There's no guesswork in this. It's just do it. Follow the process.
Yep.
So that is the message.
Good message.
Well, we're honored that you guys are sticking around and listen to what we have to say. So I hope
Yeah,
it
man.
makes an impact.
And then we'd love any comments, feedback, anything you guys have. We'll get some more tomorrow from you guys, but we want to thank you for your attention today. And hopefully you're getting some great value and content out of what we're doing for you. So that is our goal and wish, and hope everybody has a wonderful night. And bright and early, 10 o'clock tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll be having another great day. Buyer specialty. So we'll knock it out tomorrow too, guys.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Have
Yeah.
a great night.
Have a
Thanks,
wonderful
everyone.
night.
Thanks, guys.